obviously you've interviewed a lot of raw vegans and people in the health space, so it's quite hard, like you said earlier, like especially at the start of your journey with all the conflicting information. You're like, oh, someone says take a B12 supplement, someone else says don't. So how have you kind of
Yeah.
discerned this information? How have you like selected? What have you in your mind? What have been like the most common things that successful long term raw vegans have? So like, what would you say are things that you see, they all kind of follow or do?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And this is the main reason I stopped
Mm,
interviewing people. I don't do any more interviews, and I don't think I will, um, because it was
yeah.
confusing me. And I've been doing this for a long time. And if I'm confused, then I know somebody that hasn't been raw
Mm,
for years and years. They're probably extremely confused, and I don't want to be a part of confusing people. I try to see what doesn't work, and then I try to do the opposite. So I've looked at some long term raw vegans that are like 10, 20, 30
mm-hmm,
years raw, and I've looked at what they're doing. So a lot of these raw vegans, they do a lot of
mm,
cleansing and a lot of fasting and a lot of, just like detoxing and stuff like that, trying to get as clean as possible. And I don't think that is I don't think that works. I mean, I maybe it works for some people, but a lot of raw vegans look much older than they
mm,
are when they age. I believe it's because of all the cleansing and they get like really really
mm,
skinny, and the thinner you are, the older you look. And so I don't know, me personally, I just focus on eating an abundance of fruit,
mm,
mostly fruit, a few greens and some vegetables, and I don't constantly cleanse. I haven't done a juice fast in, like maybe 10
yeah.
years or something. I'm not into the fasting. I'm not into the herbs. If you want to do herbs, you can do them. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not the most important part. And I think crucial is to stay consistent. It's crucial to stay consistent, and also to get outside, to move
Mm,
your body, okay, to sleep, get quality sleep. It's important to do something you love, because if you're not doing what you love, then you're not going to feel good, you're not going to
mm,
be happy, and that's going to show in your appearance and your life. You're not going to live a
yeah.
fulfilled life. Um, the the other thing is that I feel that raw vegans, like when they eat raw and then they eat processed foods and they go
Mm,
back and forth, it really messes with their health. I have
mm,
noticed, okay? And I know a lot of these YouTubers in person. I've met them, and they've shared things with me where like they fell off, they started, either drinking again or eating processed foods again or animal products, and then they went back raw. Then they, juice cleanse, and they went back. They back and forth, back and forth, and that really takes a toll on your health. So the most important thing to me is that I stay consistent and I don't get tempted by the junk food that's in my house. I live with someone and they're not
mm,
healthy. They're a junk food vegan. So I have a lot of processed foods around me at all times. I have to stay consistent. That's why I never do juice cleanses. I don't restrict myself. If I am hungry, I eat.
yeah.
If I want something, I'll find a way to eat it raw. And I think that is key to being a long-term raw vegan and looking, younger than you are and feeling good and not dealing with some of the health issues that some raw vegans have had. Staying consistent is the most important thing. Again, it's what you don't eat that is most
For sure,
important.
for sure. Yeah, I definitely see that purity mindset a lot. Like especially in the detox world, it's like I've got to get my body fully clean, but your body's always detoxing. It's kind of like a mental disorder, isn't it? Like, yeah,
Yes.
but
Yes. And that for that I am grateful. I never had an eating
mm,
disorder, and I think, and it's a horrible thing to
mm,
have that, and I do feel very bad, but eating raw is not the solution to an eating
yeah,
disorder. Eating raw is the solution to what
mm,
to eat, okay? But it doesn't really help you with the how to eat, because a lot of people, they become raw but they're still
mm,
starving themselves, or they're binging and then they're throwing up or whatever it is. So I just want everyone to understand, if you have an eating disorder, then perhaps you really really want to
mm,
seek help, professional help, therapist, And eating raw is going to be so amazing for you, but it's not going to heal your eating disorder. I just need people to understand that. And when people want to work with me, I send them an application. And if it looks like they have an eating disorder, I cannot help them because I'm not a specialist in eating disorders. I'm a specialist in how to eat a raw vegan diet, but not
Yeah.
how to cure an eating disorder. So that's another thing that we all need to understand. A lot of these raw vegans come into this because it's masking their eating disorder. And so I know a raw vegan that went 6 months on oranges, and to me, that is not healthy. That just doesn't resonate with me, and it doesn't seem healthy because it seems very, very restricting. Like you must have craved something else in those
Mm.
6 months, and you didn't allow yourself to do it because you wanted to either prove to yourself that you could do this, or like you just, I don't know what would make somebody do that, but I don't think that's healthy. I think you need to eat what you're craving in the
Hmm.
plant kingdom, and having one type of food only for so long, I don't think it's a
No,
great
me
idea
neither.
personally.
Especially at the start of your journey, like myself included.
Right.
Like I've only kind of known about this lifestyle for just over a year, but at the start I was really caught up with like watermelon only or eat at this time and that time, all the dogma and all of that. And it can help some people, but like you say, it's not. It's long term. You're never gonna stay consistent. You're just gonna fall off the wagon, and yes, it's a bit too restrictive, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like I hear all the successful long term people say, like yourself, like it's a lifestyle of abundance. There's so much you can eat, so why restrict yourself?
Yeah, I was
Mm,
doing it too. I did, 14 days on bananas. I did 7 days on watermelon. And the truth is that I wasn't happy. I was doing it
mm.
as a
Yeah,
challenge,
me
but
too.
I wanted other things. I wanted avocados. I wanted oranges. I wanted other things. I wouldn't allow myself to have them. And at the end of the day, that's ego based. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to live a healthy lifestyle. So we have to listen to our bodies. Okay. And as a woman, I have found that I cannot do these long fasts and these very short eating windows like a lot of
Mm,
men I know. Okay. So I'm not going to name names, but I know a lot of raw vegan guys, and they can do one meal a day or very short eating windows and 20-hour intermittent fasting, and that works great for them, but it has not worked for me, and it hasn't worked for any of my clients. So I just want to let everybody know that's listening to this, if you're a woman, you probably can't do what a lot of these raw vegan guys
mm.
can do. I just want you to know that I believe women need to eat more, and because we're designed to
Yeah, carry
give
another
birth. We're
human. Yeah.
designed to carry another human being. So I don't think we're meant to be starving ourselves and doing these crazy
Mm,
restrictive
for
cleanses.
sure. And like you say, you're just more likely to then binge on the processed food and go back.
Yes.
Like